Well, probably it's bad hair day today. Now, yes, it is indeed, but man, it's a long time ago since I did actually something on the vacuum leak of the Chevrolet Matisse. Now, in case if you don't know what a vacuum leak is, now a vacuum leak is a kind of hissing sound and false air entering the engine where it actually should not supposed to. Now, I mean, this can be on a rubber hose. This can actually by a bolt where air is actually going in, or most commonly your EGR valve or air intake. Now, problem is, I got that already since I have my Chevrolet Matisse, which is probably, I think, somehow like 6 months ago. And that's for me actually a huge amount of time. Now, this can cause lots of problems. A vacuum leak can cause lots of issues, idle problems, shifting problems. I heard also problems like that vents are not working properly anymore. So it can actually go into a lot of ways. The only way to figure that out is using propane, butane, or something like carburetor cleaner. Now, I mean, that's definitely something I'm gonna do tomorrow. Now, what I have done here and what I'm gonna try tomorrow is probably a bit risky, but let me explain you guys what I have actually done and what I have found so far. The thing is, on the Deo Matisse, which was my previous car, I knew that my gasket on the EGR valve to the EGR housing was already not in its best shape anymore. Also, it was not electronic solenoid, it had a vacuum. So it was vacuum based. So a vacuum EGR valve. Currently, this EGR valve that I have on my Chevrolet Matisse does not have a vacuum EGR valve, but an electronic EGR valve. Which even more sucks, but yeah, I mean, problem is though, both scenarios on the Deo Matisse and Chevrolet Matisse, yes, I probably think I have a vacuum leak by my EGR valve, but tomorrow I'm gonna confirm that by the following thing that I'm gonna show you soon. Today I've actually done some testing. I have idle issues, I have shifting issues. Now, I mean, also, if I'm trying to shift from first to second, if my engine is hot, I mean, I never can shift to first or second or whatever kind of gear properly without that the needle is staying. So I would like, of course, that it goes down immediately. Now, the thing is, since the last time, with and without the EGR valve connected, my RPMs between 2000 and 3000 RPMs is okay. It will immediately go down. Not always though, but it goes down most of the times. Now, I mean, from 3.5K, I don't even have to try it anymore. It's gonna stay that way. It goes a little bit up to 4K, and it goes down. Now today I actually unplugged the HO2 sensor, which is the downstream O2 sensor, and I mean, yes, my car was a little bit smoother, but the RPM things did not change a lot. But I was thinking, you know what? I mean, no one needs an EGR valve because it's our emissions and pollution. Well, fuck pollution. Just said. I mean, yeah, YouTube. Sorry for my inappropriate language, but hey, I mean, who cares about the EGR valve, right? So, I took the EGR valve connector off, and guess what? I mean, I could rev up to 4K, and it goes down immediately. Then I connected it again, but I left the HO2 sensor unconnected, and the problem was back again. 3.5K. Yeah, that's not something I need. So probably I think I have an EGR valve problem. Well, at least the EGR valve vacuum problem. At least that's for so far I can tell. I mean, I will show you guys what I have created so far, and I think this would be a good idea to test out. This is definitely a home-based something, but hey, people are using propane gases. Why not using butane? I mean, it's gas. So what I've done here, I mean, I'm going to show you a little bit of the setup. I mean, it's not perfect, but probably it's going to do the job tomorrow. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm up to. Let's set you guys up. So now we got my hose. This is normally a very small gasoline hose, and since this one is actually very short, I had to tighten this tie wrap up very good. So what I'm gonna do tomorrow is I'm gonna stick this at the EGR valve while pushing this in. Yeah, well, pushing in, not near it, like so. So that might be my way to test the, well, at least the vacuum leak, I guess. Now I cannot do this too long because it will also go down on the red thing, and if this red is going to pop off, then that thing is completely empty. So this is actually my trick. Oh wow, it sinks very hard. But anyways, that's actually the trick that I'm going to try. I mean, this is not the only one. If this is going to be empty, I still have a half full thing. I don't need much. Now, what I'm going to do with this particular setup, yes, I mean, it's a little bit risky. But since I got my VCA, which is in the Netherlands fire security certificate, I wish I can do this without too much problems. As far as my knowledge goes, with this going into the engine will decrease its RPM if there is a vacuum leak. Let's hope we find it, because I'm getting tired by not be able to speed shift, or better yet, power shift. Tried it once, but that was definitely not a success. So that's actually what I'm going to do. So yes, guys, I mean, also the emission tests. So the tests that I have to pass are also slowly coming onto my way. I got already a letter on my table. 9th August I need to go, and still I need to order a catalytic converter, which is pretty pricey, and yeah, some other stuff on the car, and probably a left taillight because they're smoked at this moment. So we got a lot to do. Now I can actually try two things. Now, if we find that stupid vacuum leak, we can do two things. Number one, we go to a shop and make sure that we are getting rid of the complete EGR valve, include it into the ECU, and let it remove by files, so that the ECU think there's no more EGR valve there, and that it can run on fresh, clean air. Or we are gonna keep it in there and make ourselves a gasket. Now, I mean, the last option is also my last option. So the second option is actually the last thing I would like to do. But I mean, with shifting and driving and jerking and all this kind of stuff, I mean, I think it's time to search for something and search for some problems. I mean, I know I have somewhere something, so I think it's a good idea to search for that. Now, I mean, this is always better than using WD-40 or, well, carburetor cleaner or something like that. This is always better. This is air related. I mean, if I pull this hose on there and it goes out on the other way, I mean, it's still butane, so it will definitely do something with the engine. I think. I mean, this is gas, and I mean, if I'm gonna light this up and I will woof, then I think I will burn my hair a bit. I mean, save me some money from the barbershop, but then again, that's not what we want to. So it's air, and this is not fluid, which is pretty good. Actually, I can spray the complete engine bay without harming myself, which we will not do, of course. I mean, I'm only going into the suspected locations. Now, the suspected locations are going to be, now, well, number one, which is the obvious thing, is the EGR valve housing. Now, the EGR valve housing, it's so difficult to find something if we talk about gaskets. I have tried and I have searched around, but I couldn't find any sort of gasket for the EGR valve housing. Now, yes, the EGR valve itself, yeah, well, that's no problem, but the EGR valve housing. So the EGR valve always sits on a house. Now that house is where it's on top or on the side. The housing itself is a little letting through passage thing, and that little house sits on the engine block. Now, between the engine block and the EGR valve housing, there's a gasket, and that gasket is only a one-time thing. If you lose it, or you crack it, or you damage it, you actually are a little bit, well, inappropriate. You're fucked somehow. So that's actually what we are gonna do today. If not today, today, tomorrow. We are gonna prepare ourselves for a butane lesson, and let's see if we can find some vacuum leaks. I mean, I never was confident with doing this. Still, I'm not, because if this is happening, then you know what it's gonna do. At least if I push this red thing over here and light this up, poof, then I'm a little bit shredded. So let's try to avoid that. And no, I will definitely not smoke a cigarette when I'm working with this kind of stuff. I mean, I'm not stupid. I might look stupid, but I'm not. But that's actually the plan, guys, so check in tomorrow, because, I mean, I'm getting tired of this stupid vacuum leak, or at least EGR valve problems. I mean, somewhere that thing is going to be thrown in a trash can. Trust me, definitely. I mean, I have still a vacuum pump, I would say. Don't best me. I mean, I still have a EGR valve laying in the basement, so no problem. I mean, if I throw that one away, I mean, I already saw on a scanner on my phone, car scanner, which I bought for $4.99. I mean, the EGR valve it's not gonna pass the emission test. So yeah, I mean, the trash can would be very happy with me if I give him some little metal. So yeah, no problem, man. I mean, you can have it. So yeah, other thing also, I also gained a little bit of performance with disconnecting the EGR valve, so it definitely is gonna stay disconnected. Well, at least for now. I just hope that I can find a vacuum leak, and hopefully I can get rid of that, because I'm getting tired and I want performance as soon as possible. I want my normal RPM band back, just like my Deo Umatis had. That one was perfectly fine, and this one just sucks. It's something we will not need, and this time this man is gonna use some danger tomorrow. I'm tired of EGR valve leaks, or whatever kind of vacuum leaks we are facing. It's gonna get rid of it, I'm pretty sure. Now, nicest thing is, if I'm gonna use WD-40 instead of this one in the area of the, well, let's say the injectors, this is friendly, because this is air and will not cause arcs or fireballs. Instead of WD-40, that will definitely do something. That's gonna be... Now, I mean, always try to be a little bit more careful, so I will also wear some safety glasses tomorrow, and I will probably get something like this, like a jeans hose, you know, because that's fireproof. Well, as far as I know. Anyways, guys, so that's actually what I've got for you. And I hope you guys check in very soon, because that's actually what we are gonna do tomorrow. I mean, as said, I'm not confident with doing this. Whew. But I want to get rid of this problem. Now, I don't have any kind of sensors in the area from the EGR valve, and if there is any vacuum leak, I will not get an engine code from that. By the intake, I probably will. But there's only one sensor, and that's the intake air temperature sensor. Now, and if I got a crack in the intake tube of intake tube itself, lower down the engine, it's still not gonna throw me anything. So yeah, I mean, the engine codes in this case are very much useless. So I have to do it old school. Anyways, peeps, check in later on. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. Well, large video with talking again. But this time I hope to get some results instead of only questions and no answers. So I hope you guys liked it. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe down there, somewhere, you know, that red button. Don't forget. I mean, it's cheap. What cheap? It's free. That doesn't cost you anything. You keep me motivated to make some more content. And guys, don't forget. I mean, spoken about the supercharger, we're definitely gonna throw it on my car, even if this is gonna be on the 3-cylinder engine or later on maybe on a VR6. Because the VR6 shares front transmission, just like now. So I will be better off instead with a W8 engine 4-liter. Which I also was thinking, but then the transmission is going to the back and will cost me way more. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I catch up with you guys very soon.